Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. And some very interesting news this morning in the Sunday report about SA Rugby's Rassie, ERASMUS and potentially helping out World Rugby on the back of a press release yesterday from SA Rugby, which sort of said that there had been positive discussions between the South African Director of Rugby and World Rugby. And now it looks like it could be going a step further, with there actually becoming a bit of a collaborative effort moving forward, which is very interesting, especially given the fact that he, as of today, he's no longer banned, but was banned yesterday from match day activities. But before you sort of look into exactly what the report says and what it could mean, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Now, the entire sort of Autumn Nation series has been marred or, almost characterized by this whole Rassie ERASMUS Twitter saga. And we did see a very interesting update yesterday coming out when SA Rugby put out a statement saying that there had been constructive talks held between World Rugby and Rassie ERASMUS, and that dialogue would continue after the match yesterday. And Rassie ERASMUS then also put out a tweet saying that he was basically lacquered to have cleared the area, now let's move on type thing, which kind of sort of indicated that the entire sort of tweet fest and the matter had been sort of buried and sort of put to bed. But now there is a report coming out that is saying that these talks were actually less about the actual tweets and stuff like that, and about Rassie ERASMUS going after referees, and more about how can he help them improve sort of the referee and TMO performance. So apparently, according to a report, yes, it was more about they're talking about the fact that how can Rassie ERASMUS get involved, and apparently, according to the report, again, this is all just sort of reports and stuff like that. Obviously, got no confirmation, so just sort of reporting what's out there. But according to a report in the article, apparently World Rugby actually admitted to there being 12 decisions by the television referee that were wrong at the expense of the box in the past of the year. And apparently these included block tries, which were not awarded, as well as opponents' tries that were awarded. And the source, in inverted commas, the dramatic big source, said, and they quote, "The whole thing is now no longer sensationalism and drama, but a point of discussion to find solutions. They were able to find middle ground to improve the process going forward," another insider told the newspaper. So basically what the report is saying is that World Rugby brought Rassie ERASMUS to the table, and instead of sort of saying, you're outrageous and you shouldn't be doing this, basically said, well, help us improve it. How can we sort of improve it? And that is, I think, what a lot of the Rassie ERASMUS sort of support and Rassie ERASMUS was going to want, is he kind of wanted a seat at the table, he kind of wanted accountability, and people wanted to see change. I personally be very surprised that this is the case. I think it's an interesting concept that you can go after a referee quite publicly, and yet the end result is that, well, actually, then come and fix it. But I do think if there is sort of ground for that, then Rassie ERASMUS has to get involved. You can't come out and you can't go after referees, and you can't sort of put out all the stuff that he has put out, and then if they then say, cool, well, then come help us fix it, then sort of take a step back. So one hopes that there is a bit of, and hopefully it was a case of, you sit at the table and Rassie ERASMUS goes, cool, I hold my hands up. Maybe it wasn't the best way to do it, but this is the reason I was. World Rugby could say, we appreciate the fact that it wasn't the right way to do it. However, we do want to improve our referees. We do want to improve the situation. And then you put your egos aside, you leave them at the door, and then you sort of sit there and say, well, then how do we improve this? How do we take steps forward? How can we really move towards a system which is more accurate and where there's less sort of ambiguity? And if we can move towards that, I think that's what everybody just wants at the moment. Everybody wants a system that works. Everybody wants accountability, and everybody wants transparency. And that's kind of been a bit of a hallmark for World Rugby. The fact that there is very little transparency across all their systems, not just necessarily sort of the referees and stuff like that, but a lack of transparency is always going to create a lot of rumors, debate, controversy. So regardless of what actually is going to happen in the upcoming sort of weeks, months, years, I think it's been really good to see that this sort of the issue seems to be buried, and the issue seems to be sort of winding its way down. And whether it is a case of there will be a collaborative approach, and we will be looking to try and sort of, and Rassie ERASMUS will be getting involved there, or whether it's just a case of, okay, well, this is kind of, we're taking your feedback on board, but you can't do this, whatever. I think the biggest thing that most fans just want is that for the saga to kind of come to an end. And I think that there have been lots of lessons learned. I think there have been some positives. I think there's been some negatives. And I think that it has been quite an interesting sort of period. I think it has been quite a significant period in the last few weeks. The question is, for whatever, whether right or wrong, will it lead to better change? And I think that's maybe, across the thing, will it create a method for coaches and for administrators to be able to approach World Rugby and referees without having to do so publicly, in which many ways it's better for the referee. So can we move to a situation where the referees don't get slated so much in the sort of the public eye, but there still is a process where we can work towards improving them, and hopefully sort of create this really working environment where coaches, referees, officials can all sort of sit around the table and work at building the product of rugby, as opposed to just sort of a very cutthroat sort of industry where it's sort of us versus them all the time, which just doesn't help anybody, to be honest. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.